You know that feeling when you're watching a big fight and you're just on the edge of your seat, hanging on every word the commentators say. The voices of the UFC have become as iconic as the fighters themselves, and for a long time, the trio of Jon Anik, Joe Rogan, and Daniel Cormier has been the soundtrack to some of the most memorable moments in the octagon. But lately, there's been a shift. The broadcast booth has been getting some serious flack from the fans. It seems like everyone has an opinion, and recently, even a top-tier fighter like UFC welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena spoke out, joking about a Cormier mute button. It just goes to show how much the audience is paying attention and how much they want the commentary to be perfect. The whole situation came to a head recently, particularly after UFC 319, where a moment between Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier went viral, and it really opened a window into what's happening behind the scenes. We've all seen it. Rogan, the veteran, the guy who's been around forever, known for his deep knowledge of all things martial arts. He was one of the first to really break down the nuances of the sport for a mainstream audience. But in recent years, some fans have felt like his insights aren't what they used to be. It's a tough spot to be in. When you've been at the top of your game for so long, everyone expects you to be a flawless encyclopedia of knowledge. But then came UFC 319, and a moment that showed Rogan's passion and expertise are still very much alive. On his podcast, he spilled the beans about a mid-broadcast conversation he had with his co-commentator, Daniel Cormier, a former two-division champion and a legend in his own right. The situation revolved around a women's flyweight fight between Karine Silva and Dione Barbosa. In the second round, Silva had Barbosa in a very tricky submission, a position known as the dead orchard. For those who don't know, the dead orchard is a high-level Brazilian jiu-jitsu position, a super complex variation of a triangle choke. It can look like the person caught in it is just hanging out, not in any immediate danger. And that's exactly what Daniel Cormier thought. He saw that Barbosa had both her arms seemingly free and figured she was okay. But Joe Rogan, with his extensive background in the finer points of grappling, knew better. In a moment that highlighted their different perspectives and expertise, Rogan had to jump in. He explained that just because Barbosa had her arms inside the triangle didn't mean she was safe. In fact, he pointed out that the position was dangerous and a real submission that could end the fight in an instant. This little exchange, which you probably wouldn't have noticed while watching the live broadcast, reveals so much. It shows that even the most accomplished commentators, like Cormier, can miss a detail, and it proves that Rogan's expertise, especially in the art of jiu-jitsu, is as sharp as ever. This wasn't just a simple correction. It was a testament to the dynamic of their commentary team. It's a mix of different backgrounds and skills. Cormier, the former champion, brings the perspective of a fighter who has been in the fire. He understands what it's like to be inside that cage, the physicality and the pressure. Rogan, on the other hand, brings the perspective of a lifelong student of martial arts, with an encyclopedic knowledge of techniques and history. When they're at their best, that combination creates a beautiful and informative broadcast. Now, with all the talk about commentary, the big question on everyone's mind is, when is Joe Rogan going to step away? He's a podcaster, a comedian, and a genuine cultural force. His schedule is packed, and he's been taking more time off from UFC broadcasts lately. For example, he wasn't at UFC 318 for Dustin Poirier's retirement fight, which was the first time he'd missed a US-based UFC pay-per-view in a long time. But despite the rumors and the fan complaints, it seems we won't be saying goodbye to Rogan just yet. After the UFC's massive new broadcast deal, Dana White was asked about Rogan's future. The UFC president was very clear, stating that Rogan is still a huge part of the promotion's plans moving forward. So for now, It looks like the commentary trio is here to stay, with all the heated debates and fascinating insights that come with it. It's a reminder that no matter what, the world of combat sports is always full of drama, both inside the octagon and at the commentary desk. Ultimately, this whole situation highlights the unique challenge of live commentary. You're trying to break down a complex, fast-paced sport in real time, and even a former world champion like Cormier can miss a specific nuance, especially in a specialized area like jiu-jitsu. The exchange between Rogan and Cormier at UFC 319 shows that their dynamic is one of collaboration and mutual respect, even